Recently, Ethiopian Prime Minister made a bold announcement. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is now complete. This is more than just a dam. It's the largest hydroelectric project in all of Africa. A $5 billion megastructure built on the Blue Nile, a national dream and a continental controversy. For Ethiopia, it's a symbol of independence and ambition. For others, a potential trigger for regional conflict. So how did Ethiopia pull this off? Why has it become one of the most debated energy projects in modern history? And what happens now? For decades, Ethiopia has faced a critical energy deficit. Over half of its population lives without reliable access to electricity. The solution? Harness the power of the Blue Nile, a river that begins in the Ethiopian highlands and carries life downstream into Sudan and Egypt. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, or GIRD, was designed to change everything. With a capacity of over 6,000 megawatts, it could more than double Ethiopia's electricity generation. But this wasn't just about power. The GIRD became a symbol of sovereignty, self-reliance, and national pride, a declaration that Ethiopia would no longer be sidelined in the Nile story. The vision was clear: electrify the nation, fuel economic growth, and become the energy hub of East Africa. So, what exactly makes this dam such a monumental feat? The GIRD stretches 1.8 kilometers across the Blue Nile. Its main wall towers at 145 meters high. Behind it lies a reservoir that can hold 74 billion cubic meters of water, one of the largest in Africa. Inside, the dam houses 13 turbines, 2 already operational since 2022, with the rest gradually commissioned until the final completion in 2025. Once fully functional, GIRD is expected to generate 6,450 megawatts, making it the largest hydropower plant in Africa and one of the top 10 in the world. Construction began in April 2011, with the primary contract awarded to Italian firm Cellini Impregilo. Despite political tensions and technical challenges, Ethiopia pushed ahead with remarkable speed and focus. But how they funded it might be the most surprising part of all. Unlike many major infrastructure projects in Africa, the GIRD was built without the backing of the World Bank or IMF. Why? Because Ethiopia knew the project would spark international opposition, especially from downstream countries. So, they took a different route. The government launched a nationwide campaign urging citizens to buy dam bonds, contribute through payroll deductions, and donate directly to the cause. This wasn't just a project, it became a national movement. In fact, the dam started under a shroud of secrecy, initially called Project X, then Millennium Dam, before being renamed the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Despite economic hardship, Ethiopians across the country, and even in the diaspora, pitched in. Over the years, billions of dollars were raised internally, proving just how deeply the country believed in this dream. In the end, Ethiopia paid the price for its ambition, literally and symbolically. But while Ethiopia saw GIRD as a triumph, its neighbors, Egypt and Sudan, saw a looming threat. Egypt, in particular, is heavily dependent on the Nile River. Over 90% of its freshwater comes from the Nile, and most of that originates in Ethiopia. Egypt and Sudan cite colonial-era treaties that gave them control over most of the Nile's water, treaties Ethiopia never signed and does not recognize. Their fear? That GIRD's massive reservoir, filled too quickly, could disrupt water flow to millions, devastate agriculture, and cripple hydroelectric production downstream. Years of diplomatic negotiations, brokered by the African Union, have failed to produce a legally binding agreement. Egypt wants guarantees. Ethiopia says, "This is our right." The result? A stalemate and a dam that has become not just an energy project, but a symbol of rising geopolitical tensions in the Horn of Africa. Still, Ethiopia's potential payoff is enormous. The GIRD could bring electricity to over 60 million Ethiopians, powering homes, schools, hospitals, and entire industries. And it doesn't stop at Ethiopia's borders. The country has already begun exporting power to Sudan, Djibouti, and Kenya, and aims to become East Africa's energy superpower. Beyond energy, GIRD is expected to help with flood control and sediment reduction, improving downstream water management and extending the life of other dams like Sudan's Roseras Dam. This is more than just hydropower. It's a strategic asset, economically, politically, and symbolically. But, as we'll soon see, the challenges ahead are just as immense as those Ethiopia has already overcome. But not everything is flowing smoothly. Large dams, even when designed for clean energy, carry serious environmental and social risks. The GIRD could alter the natural flow of the Nile, disrupting delicate ecosystems downstream and increasing sediment trapping, which can reduce soil fertility in regions that rely on seasonal floods. Some scientists also warn of methane emissions from large reservoirs, especially in tropical zones. And then there's dam safety. The GIRD is located in a seismically active region. A structural failure, though unlikely, would have catastrophic consequences for millions downstream. The biggest challenge, however, may still be diplomatic. Without a binding trilateral agreement on how the dam will operate during droughts or conflicts, tensions between Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt remain dangerously unresolved. So while Ethiopia has built a marvel of engineering, its political future remains uncertain, and managing this new reality will require more than concrete and turbines. The completion of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is a historic milestone for Ethiopia, for Africa, and for the global energy landscape. It's a story of resilience, vision, and national unity. A story that proves African nations can take control of their destinies, even in the face of geopolitical pushback. But it's also a cautionary tale, because water is life, and who controls it controls more than just electricity. Will the GIRD bring a new era of prosperity and regional cooperation? Or will it deepen old divides? That story is still being written.